Okay, I do need to adjust that time just a little bit, but it's good. What's up, chat? We're here for a Wednesday D&D night. We've got a few friends joining us this evening. Before we get started, apologies for the lack of stream last couple of days. It's taken a bit of me time. We'll get back into the map making definitely. I won't say definitely tomorrow, but definitely next Monday. So keep an eye on the Gilded to whether I'll be streaming tomorrow night or not. I haven't decided whether I will yet or not, but we will be getting into the Waterdeep Dragon Heist maps, definitely. Starting with the Yawning Portal. I've made a little bit of a start on it. So those who don't know what the Yawning Portal is, it is an inn. Doesn't say road next to trash. I know, right? It's all messed up with no road for trash. But we will get to that in just a moment. So firstly, foremost, we will introduce our players before we get into the actual show. So we will start with Mr. Trashman. Trashy, I'm going to make you do it. Introduce yourself. I mean, most people know who you are anyway, but introduce yourself, let them know who you are, where you're from.
Okay, no idea where I'm from.
What, you don't know that you live in Australia?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not talking about your character, I'm talking about you, personally.
Okay, I need to pay more attention.
Yes,
Anyway, Darth Trashman. I live here in the wonderful place of Oz. Not really, it's not that wonderful, trust me. Too many things try to eat you. And I've been part of this group now for, I've forgotten how long now.
You've been part of this community, not just this D&D group, but this community for the best part of coming up 7 years, I believe.
Holy shit, that's a long time.
That is a long
time.
I better
go now. Bye.
Thank you, Trashman. We will then move over to Mr. JJ Aussie Punk over there in the corner. So JJ, would you introduce yourself, let people know who you are, where you're from, and where they can find you as another content creator?
Hey guys, JJ here, from Australia as well, Victoria. Stream myself under JJ Aussie Punk. Have my own EFED, wrestling EFED, called ABW, where I do all the good stuff there. Have a lot of fun over there, and yeah, pretty
Awesome.
Much me.
That is Mr. JJ Aussie Punk, and as you can see, the JJ's link to his Twitch channels above his head there. You can find JJ over on twitch.tv/JJ Aussie Punk, doing the EFED stuff, which I'm part of as Mr. Jackson Spencer, your current Australian champion. May not be for long though, however. I lost today, so I was not happy about that. Anyway, moving down the list, down below me here, we will find Mr. Grim. Same thing for you, sir.
My name's Grim, or Grim Realities, and it sounds like I'm about to live under the sea, because it is absolutely pissing down. I also live in Australia, or at least Australia's tag-along Tasmania. So
it's floating away. Better go catch it.
It is floating away. Bloody. And I have streamed. I'll get back to it eventually, but over at Grim_realities at Twitch TV. Work's hammering me pretty hard, so I'll get back to it eventually and do some more stuff and things.
We'll see you back there. There's a lot of point and click story stuff, which is really cool. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, man right down the bottom corner there, Mr. Aircode.
I didn't do it. Variety content creator on Twitch. Bit of driving games, shooty stuff, fun with the guys. And I live in Sydney, Australia.
Awesome. And yeah, you can definitely, as all their Twitch addresses there, Trashy's not a content creator, but you can find Trash normally hanging out with us somewhere along the line, either here on a Wednesday night with Lost Minds, or in the Vampire the Masquerade on Sunday currently, and then P2 when that starts again. So without any further ado, we shall get into tonight's story. as I said, we are going to explore the lost mines of Phandelver. This is not a module I've run before. Grim has run it before as a DM, and I believe JJ and Era have both played in that session. So they do have some understanding of how this works, but it should not alter anything, hopefully. So, obviously we are starting here with our little splash screen here, which is pretty looks cool, the splash screen. But we're going to start our adventure on a relatively warm morning in the Sword Coast. We're on the outskirts of the city of Neverwinter, also known as the City of Skilled Hands. The sun is peeking over the Star Meadow Hills to the east as we spy a dwarf and his human companion standing waiting next to a cart laden with supplies and an oxen waiting to haul its cargo. The dwarf seems relatively excited. The conversation between the two seems friendly backwards and forwards. And the previous evening, this same dwarf had approached several individuals in a couple of places and in a couple of inns across Neverwinter, and has hired a group of these individuals to escort this particular cart to a mining town by the name of Phandalin, which is a 2 or 3 day journey from Neverwinter. Firstly taking the high road to the south and then turning eastward on the Treebor Trail. As Gundren and Sildar are standing waiting for their companions to arrive, their horses tethered to a couple of trees to the side of the road, we now spy a rather interesting character walking through the gates of Neverwinter. As this character sort of scans around and he spies Gundren and Sildar standing off to the side of the road. Grim, can I get you to describe your character and what people see as your character approaches these two individuals?
So as the gate sort of swings open, at first you just spy some really white, fluffy sort of lumps over the top, and then the gate opens and you see a small herongon or a rabbit folk type character, very short, pure white fur, but like tufts of black in the eyes and the muzzle and stuff like that, sort of like a dwarf rabbit if you're familiar with those. Sort of short leather jacket and sort of a very audacious pink shirt, as is in the picture there, and he's sort of looking about, trying to see if anyone's watching him, and he's sort of like hanging close to the fence as he sort of spies Gundren and Sildar and sort of knows which way he needs to go, but he takes his time heading over there.
As you do so, you breach the city gates. I would say probably a little nervous to be around so many people, although with your particular skill set, you might be tempted or not tempted, whatever the case may be, to supplement your income on your way out of the gate as it happens. Completely up to you. It's a busy morning, people coming and going. Or do you just proceed directly to your newly found employer?
Arcos would sort of like stop every now and again and give it some thought, and then he sort of catches himself thinking, no, I need to get out of the city. I can't cause trouble now. I've got to, and he sort of like stops himself, like almost reaching into someone's back pocket, and then sort of like, no, like, he sort of like, it takes him a long time to get to where he's going because of that.
We'll leave Arcos there for the moment. He hasn't quite made it to Gundren at this point. Gundren has sort of spied the white-tipped ears through the crowd and is just waiting patiently. Doesn't waved out or anything. He's just sort of, you can probably clock that he's seen you, but he's just waiting for you to approach. It's about this time a rather tall individual can be seen sort of lumbering his way through the crowded street, now heading out of the gate himself. JJ, would you please describe what people see when they see your character approaching?
Medium-sized bloke, pretty tall. Name's Youngblood. A Baragog. He's got this nice armor on, red streaks on it. Wears thongs. Because why not? It all looks like thongs to me. Got some nice black pants on. Kinda... He's around these parts, so he's kinda cocky. Like, he's kinda been by himself his whole life, so he's kinda cocky. In it for the money. Ready to fight.
Indeed. So, as I said, he's a very tall, over 6 feet, furbog, broad-shouldered, slightly pale green skin. He's got slick back black hair, bit of a chin strap beard going on there as well. Carries himself relatively well, like he's not slunched over or shy. He definitely has an air of confidence about him. And he just takes big long strides heading towards Gundren and Sildar. JJ, as you walk forward, Sildar is probably the first to see you, the human man that you met the night before, and then Gundren spies you, holds a hand up, waves to you and beckons you over, and you head over in that general direction. Good morning to you. Good to see you make it nice, bright and early.
How you going, mate?
Just waiting for the rest of your friends. I see, I think it's Argos making his way through the crowd there. You ready to go?
Yeah. Always good. I'm ready to go.
Good,
As long as you got the money, I'm ready.
As I said, your accommodations last night was taken care of. You got enough rations and stuff to keep you going for the 2 or 3 days, and when you get to Barthen's Provisions in Phandalin, there'll be 10 shiny new gold coins waiting for you there.
Very nice.
And Sildar doesn't say much. He sort of gives you a nod in recognition. Kind of, it's like he's a really... I'll show you guys what he looks like. He is a very tall human, probably in his late 40s, early 50s it seems. Sporting some pretty impressive looking plate armor. Carries a shield, a long sword. A very stern individual. But like I said, he doesn't say much. You can tell just by looking at him, he's definitely Gundren's protection. Like he looks like he can fight. But he gives you a nod of recognition as you approach.
I'll nod back, just politely.
And of course, we have Gundren, who is standing next to him. Gundren is a very stout looking dwarven gentleman, very well dressed, pouch and belt, nice waistcoat. He has quite not a long beard, but a very sort of short, probably mid-length, but it's got a little bit of a ponytail in it. Nice moustache. Got a pipe hanging out of his mouth. He's smoking away, but he seems almost excited as well. Like you can see that his anticipation's probably getting the better of him. He's really getting ready to go. He needs to go. And we get an advantage for the DM already from the chat. Thank you, Revan. Not that I think we'll need it tonight. But yes, so that is Gundren who you see. So chat, just before we get any further, before I forget, what we're doing with the channel points. The channel points must be used every show. So any channel points you give to the players or to myself, if we do not use them in this session, they will be lost and will not be able to be used in the following. So bear that in mind when you hand them out. So as we're waiting, Arcos, you finally make your way through the crowd. Takes you a little bit, but as you do, and you break break away from that crowd of people, you see Youngblood, not someone you're familiar with, a big, tall individual. You may have spied him at the same inn where Gundren had hired you the night before. You've never met him, but you make your way over to them, and Gundren gives you a half bow and says, "Good morrow."
Oh, hey, is this the muscle? Fuck, he's tall. You're fucking tall, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, mate. I'm a muscle, alright. What's up, Doc? And I'll pat him on the head.
You mind your fucking hands, alright? Is this it? Jeez.
We're still waiting on a couple more, but I think you're more than capable to get a job done. I certainly hope so, because 10 gold's a lot of money.
I mean, with this here fella sticking his hands everywhere.
Well, I'm sure you'll get along famously. You got plenty of time to get to know each other. And with that, you see a bit of a smirk come across Sildar's face, with the what is going on in front of him. Next thing we see is a shock of red spied in the crowd of people as another individual starts making his way through the city gates, sidestepping quite adeptly through the bundle of people, making sure not to knock anyone over or to be knocked over himself. Era, would you please describe what the other players and the people see as your character starts making his way through the city gate towards the rest of the group? You are muted, sir.
Is that what we were talking about?
It was indeed.
An owl creature, turning his head, looking around, searching the crowd and checking on everything. Wearing leather armor, carrying a mace and a shortbow.
So indeed, we see an Owlin. Not common, and the Herringans are not overly common either. New additions to the Sword Coast, shall we say. Only seen in most recent years. But again, the shock of red and yellow feathers, and very alert indeed, as all of you probably turn as you sort of see this creature start to move through the crowd quite adeptly, and steps off to one side, making his way to your position. His wings will be folded down behind his back at this point. I think you said you also wore a cloak that would hide your wings on occasion. Are you wearing that cloak at this point, Era, or
no.
not?
No.
So just the wings folded at his back, but very alert. His gaze flits from side to side, and even at one point his head turns almost completely around. Not full 180, but it goes much further than the average humanoid can normally twist their head. Very perceptive indeed. And you approach the group. You spy Gundren and Sildar, people you know, and a couple of people you don't know. As you approach, Gundren again raises his hand in greeting, gives you a bow, as does Sildar. One more to go, and we have a full group. Good morrow to you. And he addresses you, who?
Glad to be here. And I look around at the other guys that are there in the group and just look them up and down, just sizing them up.
Hey, Bugs, he said on the muscle, is he the wise man?
Don't make fun of him. You see how far his head turns around? 360, I reckon. I reckon I saw all the way around. You can't trust anyone whose head turns that far around.
That could help us in the fight. I'm not scared of that.
Well, I'll keep my eye on him then.
Keep both eyes on you guys.
I'm sure you'll get along famously. we not see much of the owl folk around Neverwinter, but you seem capable enough. Good sir. We got one more to wait for him and we're good to go. And it's at that moment that from the crowd appears a rather interesting looking individual. And Trashy, would you describe your character as he breaks the crowd and starts heading towards this small group of people to the side of the road?
Yeah, pretty much describes it.
Trash.
What?
Do it.
All right. Yeah, he's fairly tall, about normal, about 6 foot human size. His skin is bluish, but what sets him apart is the metallic sheen on his skin in patches. He doesn't have the wings though, not yet anyway.
No. So what you see is essentially that without the wings at this point. So here again, average to above average height. But yes, the metallic shimmer, especially off his chest and arms, as the skin or scale, it almost looks like from that distance, seems to have a sheen to it, and is slightly paler blue, almost silver in color.
As he's walking toward you guys, he's not caring at all about the people that he's bumping into, knocking it, ass on tit and all that kind of stuff.
So he's just walking through the crowd, not caring?
Yeah, not caring.
Get a few grumbles. One rather large individual, in fact, as you walk past him, shoulder check him as he walks past, half walk it seems, turns to you and says, "Oi, what were you going?" And sort of puts his hand on what looks like a large club.
Hang on.
Do you say or do anything?
Nah, just ignore it. He's beneath me.
He's beneath you. Oh, interesting. So
Yes.
you don't even look at him, you just carry on walking?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Noted. The individual doesn't pursue it. It's just sort of, you hear him grumble and swear under his breath as he carries on. And a few other people sort of, hey, watch what you're going, where you going, sort of thing. And most other people don't seem to react in the same way. Maybe a little intimidated by the air of confidence and brashness that you elude as you approach. Again, Sildar raises a hand as you approach. Right, finally, the last of you have arrived. I suppose some quick introductions would be a good idea at this point. You all know who I am, of course. I've hired you to do a job for me by taking this cart here of supplies to Phandalin. 2 or 3 days, 10 gold will be your purse when you reach Barthen's provisions in Phandalin. From there, I wish you to meet us at the Stonehill Inn, where we might have some more work for you if your journey is successful and satisfactory. Myself and Sildar here will be heading out now. We're riding ahead. Got some business to attend before meeting you in Phandalin. Should be a good bit of fun. Looking forward to it. So, unless you have any more questions, I mean, you can introduce yourselves to each other, get to know each other. You've got 3 days to do so. Remember, you have enough provisions, bedrolls and such on the cart to see you to Phandalin. And if you are accosted by bandits and such, please protect the cart if you can. If you cannot, I do not wish for you to die for a few supplies. But of course, if you can, defend it, and make sure you get to where you're supposed to be going. Of course, if you do not make it to Phandalin with the supplies, we will not be paying you your full amount. It will be determined by what is left. And with that, he turns and nods to Sildar, who for the first time speaks, and says, Gundren, I think it's time we get going before we lose much more of the day. We've got much to do. And he again bows to all of you, almost noble-like to a certain degree, but very military in fashion almost as well. It's an awkward yet respectful bow, and mounts his horse, turns towards the road, and waits for Gundren to climb up onto his slightly smaller horse. Not a miniature horse, but you can see that Sildar's probably on what would be almost not quite as big as a Clydesdale, but it's definitely a riding horse. And Gundren's horse is slightly smaller, probably more of a pony than a horse itself. But they both mount up. They turn and bid you all farewell and wave, and head off towards the south along the high road. And as they take off and leave you to your cart and your oxen, they slowly disappear into the distance. We'll turn it over to you guys now for a moment for introductions and a little bit of a chit chat before you head out.
Oh, well, a veritable collection of freaks they've collected here, isn't it? I mean, not a human among us. I mean, this fella here, he's kind of human-like, but he's fucking blue, like they left him out in the sun and he's gone rotten. I mean, I hope we don't have to do anything sneaky, because I don't think it's going to happen.
Shrimp.
He's got a sharp tongue. Well, that's all I'm saying. I hope we don't have to do anything like inconspicuous, because we ain't exactly that, are we? Well, don't all speak at once.
Why would I want to speak with you guys? You're beneath me.
Beneath you? Like a little blue guy? Calm down, mate. We've got to be a team here. Calm the fuck down.
Can we just get this job done and get it over with?
No friend to this guy. Little blue man. By the way, I'm bad of names, so I'm going to nickname you. Bunny, you're Bugs. Owl, you're Wise Man. And Blue Guy, you're Sexy Man. That's your nicknames, that's what I'm going to call you. Don't like it, stiff shit. Hi, I'm Youngblood.
I just cock my head and shoot a look at the blue guy, thinking, look at that attitude.
Does anyone else introduce themselves, or just Youngblood?
Nope.
Well, I suppose we better get this out of the way. I'm who?
You what?
I'm who?
Who?
Who? Yeah.
Who?
That's correct.
You're still Wise Man to me.
That's fair. I'm Arcos, and I don't really care, but you coming with us, Blue Man, or are you gonna hang around here and piss off the populace of Neverwinter?
Let's move.
Right you are, then.
Right.
Where's this cart?
So, off to the side of the road, you have a laden cart with a single oxen to pull it. The oxen is well fed and is large, as most beasts of burden are around the Sword Coast. Giving the cart a quick sort of once over. It's covered, but you can sort of see, and as the cover sort of stumps over, there's a couple of gaps front and back. You can see it looks like it's a jumble of supplies: crates, barrels, looks like some mining tools, There are a couple of packs at the front, which you can only assume is the provisions, in which Gundren said he'd supplied you for your journey. So you would assume, unless you looked, you would assume that that was where there'd be water, rations, bread rolls and such, tents perhaps, to for your journey. You know it's going to be at least a couple of days minimum. If the weather holds, a couple of days. If the weather turns to crap, then it might be an extra day or two. Really depends. Today, however, relatively early in the morning as it still is, it's partially clouded over, but it's warm. Nothing too threatening on the horizon. To the north is the mountains, and to the south, the west is the ocean, as you know, and to the sort of southeast and southwest is the high road along the Sword Coast. You know you've got about a day's travel before you hit the Treeball Trail, so you've got the best part of a day of traveling ahead of you before you would make your first night camp, which if you make good ground, how about we make our first roll of the night? Let's see who has some travel knowledge. I'll get everybody to make a survival roll, please. So if you're on your sheet, it'll be in alphabetical order in your skill section. Arcos makes the first survival at a 15. So to get to your sheet, you've just got to go to the Players tab and just click on your character and it should open your sheet. There's Youngbloods, there's Zankus. Not good rolls there. And there is Who with an 11. So we have why is Youngbloods not showing it? Did you private roll yours, JJ? Just make sure you haven't got your roll set on private. But that's all good, I can show people that one. So there are our rolls: 15, 8, 4 and 11. So with anyone over a 10, which will be Who and Arcos, you guys have got a fair understanding of travel within the Sword Coast. I would say both of you have probably traveled a little bit in your time around Neverwinter and the surrounding areas. You know you've got at least a day's travel before you hit the Treeball Trail, and weather permitting, it should be a relatively easy trail. The high road is well travelled. It is one of the main thoroughfares in the Sword Coast leading south. So who is going to do what? Who's leading the oxen? What are you guys doing? Let me know.
Who's going to do everything?
Who's going to do everything?
Who's not going to do everything? How do we make this glorified cow move?
Gentle persuasion or harsh thrashing. It's up to you. It's different strokes for different folks. Ox. I can take the first leg of the journey if you like. I'm not very good with animals, but I'll give it a go. What could possibly go wrong, eh?
Well, it could run in the opposite direction, maybe.
Any insight from anybody else?
Just don't hit it too hard, all right? Just don't whack it too hard if you're going to go down that track.
So this thing's like, how tall is Arcos? He's not very tall, is he?
3-4.
Yeah, this thing's towering over you, Arcos. I mean, an oxen probably stands about 5 feet at the shoulder, give or take. But it's got this thing's got wide horns.
Hey, Arcos, what do you want? I might be able to pick you up and chuck you on top there, mate. You can steer him by his horns.
Keep your feathers off me, buddy. No, I can manage myself. It's fine.
Is there any seating on the car?
Not that it appears to be any. I mean, you'd probably be able to make some room to sit on it, but there's not. It's fairly well heavily laden with supplies. It's definitely not a passenger cart, if that's what you're talking about.
Right. So there'd be a rope around the neck of the.
No, like the wagon has got 2 rails that it's got a hitch across, like a big leather sort of strapping hitch across the oxen's neck.
Yep.
So it's got another strap across its chest so it doesn't obviously fall off. There's
So
no
no
real
reins
rope,
or-
no real range to speak of. You can generally just probably lead it by the harness almost.
Yeah, do that.
So is that what Xanxus is doing?
I walk up and tug a little bit on the harness.
Give me a animal handling check, please, Xanxus. Arcos, are you are you attempting to climb on it at this point, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so with a 3, Xanxus, unfortunately, you being as forthright as you have been, you go up to it and you sort of look at it and give it a bit of a sort of shrug and just grab it and give it a bit of a tug. That oxen sort of snorts and sort of and sort of just doesn't move. Arcos, give me... How are you trying to climb up? Are you going to climb up on the cart, up onto the ox, or are you just going to try and climb up onto the ox?
I'm
Give me a
gonna try and
description of
climb
this.
up on the cart and then sort of like leap my way over.
Okay, so give me a quick dexterity check. Just
No.
This is not... I mean, unless it's a natural 1, you can't really fail this.
As he's doing that,
It's pretty good. Thanks.
I slap it on the ass to get it moving.
So, with a 17, you manage to clamber up onto the back of onto the side of the wagon using the wheel. The wheel's a typical cart wheel. It's got the typical wagon wheel's got spokes in it. So you manage to use the spokes to get up, and you get up there pretty quickly. Right as you get onto the supply part, and you're just sort of maneuvering your way across here to get ready to make that leap. You watch as Xanxus you see him sort of give the bullock a bit of a tug, and then he sort of takes a step back and just gives it a mighty slap on its behind. And with that, the bullock lurches forward. Not in a full gallop, it just lurches forward suddenly. I need a dexterity saving throw, Arcos, please, which should be pretty good for you. Or not.
There's that natural one you were talking
That
about.
natural 1 I was talking about. Let's get some natural 1s in the chat, guys. Both followers and subs, you got natural 1s. Let's see them in the chat with their first natural 1 of the campaign. As Arcos, as the bullock lurches forward, you lose your footing, and you are now dangling one-footed off the side of this cart as your foot snags one of the ropes on the cover as you sort of stumble backwards. So you haven't fallen completely off, but it has lurched forward and is now moving. Xanxus, you probably wouldn't have seen this. You probably just reached back, slapped it on its ass and started walking, not really caring about anything but yourself at this point. Youngblood and Who probably would have been standing there watching this. So I'm not going to make you roll up for this. You both would have seen cart lurches forward. Arcos almost does the windmill with his arms, takes half a step back and then falls, but catches his foot and is now dangling upside down off the side of the cart as it's moving forward.
It bugs you, right?
You blue piece of shit.
I fall backwards with my wings sprawled out like this, laughing my head off. Absolutely laughing my head off.
There bugs. Can we touch you now to help you? Or can you get out of this too?
I got it. It's fine. I've been in worse situations. Oh fuck! Sort of like trying to grab at his foot. It's got a huge foot.
He has got a huge foot, which is why I allowed you to catch your foot. I'd say it takes you a little bit. You manage without a strength hit. You get back up, mildly pissed off, but you're back up on top now. It's moving. It's not moving fast. We're talking, when I say this is a large ox, so we're talking barely walking pace for you guys. So it's going to be a slow journey, but it is moving. Who just fell back on the ground, laughing, cackling his head off. And then after 30 seconds or so, you sort of conduct yourself. You get yourself back up, sniggering as you walk forward to keep pace with these guys.
Yeah, laugh it up, Feathers.
Just gonna walk next to the cart.
Yeah, that's what I call a lucky rabbit's foot.
Just sort of grabs a dagger out and starts twirling it a bit.
Is that directed towards me or just twirling?
Well, if you that whole, you've heard him call out to you. Whether you look back or not, it's up to you. If you think you would have ignored it and just kept walking forward, it's up to you whether you think you've seen this gesture or not.
I would have looked over my shoulder, see what the commotion was about.
So you would have obviously seen this foot hanging off the side, and then slowly, over a few seconds, he's got himself back up. But you've now see he's got eyes for you, and he's holding a dagger in his hand, and he's just twirling it backwards and forwards. How you react is up to you.
Yeah, I'll leave that alone. Just ignore it.
Youngblood, you've seen all this as well. You've started walking with the cart. How do you react to what is pretty obvious right now? So Who and Youngblood, you would both see the gesture that is being made by Arcos. It's not like a full-on "I'm going to kill you" kind of thing, but there's definitely tension there already. I think between everybody right now, but specifically between Arcos and this blue individual who still hasn't given his name.
Dude, Bugs, you alright? You got your dagger out there over there, mate. You alright?
Yeah, everything will be just fine.
Just, you've got to remember, guys, we've got to be a team here. I need this fucking money. Don't fuck this up. Calm heads, calm heads. You too, sexy boy. Calm heads.
Just keep walking.
Yeah, I'm still having a bit of a snigger and just looking at this knife thinking, yeah, look, nah. And just kind of trying to stay out of Bugs' way, at the moment. It's just like, because I had a big chuckle before and I thought it was really funny. So I just sort of hang off to the side and keep up with what's going on.
You right, wise man?
Yeah, everything's cool.
You had a good laugh. It was kind of funny, eh?
Yep, was a bit of a giggle.
So you travel for maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so. Not a lot of conversation backwards and forwards, it seems, as this blue and silver skinned individual seems hell-bent on just not discussing anything with anybody, keeping to himself. Youngblood seems to be, at this point, not so much, he's not an aggressor, but he's not really leading the group, but he's trying to pull you guys together, reminding you that you have been hired to do a job, that 10 gold is on the line, and that working together is probably a good idea.
More of a cocky way of saying it, like, I need this money, but not serious. More of a cocky, like, get your shit together.
Yeah. So it's definitely coming across in that way. Arcos is definitely got daggers for the blue man at this point. And Who, I'd say, what's going through Who's mind at this point, as you've spent the next sort of 30, 40 minutes so just walking and watching the interactions between these other people. What's going through Who's mind right now? Is he confident that the job will be able to be done with this particular group? Is he having some second thoughts now, maybe about joining this particular group?
He's thinking that this could be done. We could get this done. It's just going to take just a little bit for us to get to know each other, you know. And I think thinking as we get further into the journey and we get to chat and we start to break down, you know, some of these walls, that we'll get it done.
No worries.
Definitely
So would you say that Who is just observing his companions right now, trying to
at the moment, yes.
Trying to determine maybe their skill set, perhaps, or just to get a bearing?
Giving the party a feel out.
Okay, so I'll get you to roll a perception check for me. Boom. God, another natural one. No way. Second natural one of the night. So Who, you got no idea how these guys work at the moment. You're looking at Youngblood and you're thinking, yeah, this guy's young, he's tall, he's built, he's a big dude. You're not sure whether he's in it just for the money, or is he you can't really get a read on anyone. Arcos seems to be focused on the blue dude at the moment, so you're not getting much of a feel from him at all. And the blue guy's got his back to you. He's just walking, he hasn't said much. The arrogance is pretty obvious though. That is one thing, even with a natural one in perception. The arrogance from this blue guy has been obvious from the moment he opened his mouth. So I'll move on to Arcos for a moment. So Arcos, what are you doing over this sort of 30 or 40 minute period? What are you looking for anything? Are you trying to determine anything for anyone, or what are you doing?
So as soon as the rest of the party are not paying attention to Arcos, he's going to go back into the back of the wagon. He's going to investigate those supplies.
Roll investigation check for me. Or actually, are you trying to do it stealthily, firstly?
Yeah, I don't think he'd want the others to know.
Okay, so roll a stealth check for me first. That's pretty good. 16. So as far as you know, and judging on everyone else's passive, you're fairly well certain that no one's going to see what you're about to do. So roll an investigation check for me as well.
Oh my god!
No way! 3.
You roll back.
Jesus. All you get is it's fairly well secured. So what you can see, which is very little, is you can see the crates. You can see some barrels of varying sizes. You can see some mining tools, like there's a mining pick, a shovel, and you can see those packs at the front, definitely. And I'd say even with a natural one on those packs, they're definitely rations and supplies for you guys, which is what you've already been told. So unfortunately, you don't get much more than that.
Yeah.
But no one sees you do it.
Yeah. So after a while, getting frustrated, not being able to work out what I went back there for, I sort of just head back to the front of the cart and sort of like just kick back in whatever space I can sort of fit in to sort of lay back a little bit.
Yeah, your size easy enough. I mean, it's not comfortable, but it's as comfortable as you're going to get on the back of a supply wagon.
Yeah. He slept it worse.
Blue Man, who still hasn't given his name to anyone. You are walking next to the oxen, I'd say probably on the left-hand side. And on your opposite side, on your right, on the opposite side of the oxen, is probably Youngblood walking up towards the front of the wagon, I'd imagine as well, with Arcos on the back, who's probably hanging back a little bit towards the back of the wagon. Not at the back of the wagon, but you're all within sort of talking distance. What are you up to? What are you thinking about? Are you taking any notice of who you're traveling with at all, or are you just focused on the journey ahead?
No, I'd be studying.
Who are you studying? Are you going to study or try and get a look at all of them over the course of this sort of 30, 40 minute
Yeah.
period. I will get you to roll a stealth check as well, because you would have to physically turn or slow your gait to get behind them to try and get any kind of read on them. So I'll get a stealth check from you first. Which is painfully obvious that you are checking your companions out. So each one of you, we'll start with Youngblood. Youngblood, you notice that every now and again, this blue man just glances over in your direction. Nothing like fully. I mean, it's obvious that he's looking at you. Maybe he's trying to get a read on you. You're not sure, but it just looks at you for 2 or 3 or 4 seconds, then sort of looks away. Then again, you catch him looking at you. And he looks away. Same with the rest of you. Arcos eventually, even if you relax near you, kind of just, I'd say you're already clocking him anyway because of what's already happened. So you find it obvious as well that every now and again he just looks over his shoulder in your direction and kind of lingers there for a moment. Same with you, Who. You notice that he's watching as well. So now, Trash, I'll get you to roll a perception check just to see what mannerisms you might pick up.
I'm not going to look at this. I don't want to look at this.
This one's better. It's a 12. It's DC was 10. So, you definitely get an air of confidence from Youngblood. A confident fighter, perhaps. Like he's definitely seen a brawl or two. Small scar under his right eye. Potentially, you sort of watch one of his hands as he's swinging his hands. You can see that the knuckles looked a little sort of calloused. He's been probably in a few fist fights in his day. He's not
Just
old.
Just a quick thing. Every time I noticed him, I would be smiling and waving at him.
Go for it.
Just
No
being
worries.
cheeky.
Awesome.
So every time I noticed him, I was
And as he smiles, you notice a missing tooth or two as well. Probably knocked out in a fight. So he's definitely no stranger to martial combat. So that you definitely get from him. As you're looking over your shoulder at Arcos, as you clock this blue guy, definitely lingering looks in your direction, how do you react?
Probably the first time he looks back, like one of Arcos's eyes would open and he'd sort of just shake his head a bit and like just try and keep track of the amount of times he looks back, but sort of not try to make it obvious that he cares whether he looks at him or not. It doesn't bother him. And he's almost trying to make you feel like it doesn't matter. Whether it matters or not, it's a different matter, but he's trying to give the air that he doesn't.
What can we roll for that? It sounds intriguing. I'm sorry, what can we roll for that one, maybe?
I'd say deception.
I was going to say,
I'd say
it could be a
deception, yeah.
roll.
Deception
Yeah.
versus perception, perhaps? Because you're actively
so.
looking at him, so I'll get... your perception's already 12, so you don't know, I won't get you to re-roll yours. So it'll be Arcos rolling a deception versus your perception. So
Bam.
you got no idea what's going on with him. He seems very nonchalant to you, like, but he definitely gives off an air of maybe probably an air of secrecy with that deception roll. I'd say you're not going to get a whole lot from him at all. There's something about him you can't just quite pinpoint. It's kind of a weird sort of vibe from him. Not intimidating or anything like that. It's just something a little bit sinister, maybe. And how do you react when you spy the blue man giving you the eye occasionally?
It kind of gets my attention a little bit, and it's like I want to give myself a flap of my wings and sort of bridge that distance between us, because I'm a little bit further back, and land right next to him, continue walking, and say, "Hey, blue guy, what's going on, dude?"
Nice. So as you turn that first time, this is what happens. You see him take flight. He flies over top of you and lands beside you.
touch his beak and cast light.
Ooh. To touch his beak. Firstly, can I get a dexterity saving throw? Well, actually, Dex, we'll make it Dex versus Dex. So just the straight Dex check. Both you roll dexterity, so that's just a Dex check.
It's a Dex.
So you click on dexterity, it's just a check, not a save.
Ability check. Okay.
Yep. It's an ability check from both of you, please.
Okay, at normal.
Just normal, yep. So, ooh. So he is able, he reaches out and you go to flinch and pull your head away, but he just manages to tap you on the beak and casts light right on your beak. So, light is a very blinding light, in fact. So, it gives 20 feet of bright light and another 20 feet of dim. But because it's right on the end of your beak, it's right in your eyes. So it will blind you. So you can't see a damn thing at the moment. So I will need you to make a dexterity save at this point, because you now cannot see and you're walking forward. There are rocks and things and stones that you may potentially trip over.
At normal?
At normal. Well done. So you managed to not fall flat on your face, but you stop and you cannot see.
And with that, I dismiss it.
So you dismiss it at that instant?
Yeah.
I will give Arcos and Youngblood a chance to react to this as well, because this could be seen as an aggressive movement by the blue man. And with the fact that your stealth check was so very low, everybody saw this happen. Arcos, you saw who take flight, land next to the blue guy.
But pretty much straight on the tails of that. All right, I'm going to cast light back on him.
We'll resolve this other part first, Era. We'll get back to you in just a second. But we'll just get a reaction from these other guys first.
So, Arcos will see Blue Man touch who on the beak and sort of like that really bright glow, and he'll sort of slide his hand down to his dagger and sort of pull it back a bit, and then seeing that he sort of got it handled himself, he'll just sort of slide it back in, but have his hand there just in case.
No worries. Youngblood, same thing. You see this happen as well.
I would get my whip out and twirl around him and like tie him up with it.
So you're gonna try and bind him with it, whip it out.
Yep.
You're gonna whip it out, guys.
Whip it out.
He's gonna whip it out. So what we'll do before we do that, actually we'll resolve that, and then we'll resolve Era's light cantrip as well. So I'll get you to roll to hit. So just on your whip. So go into your character sheet.
Yep.
And just roll. Just click on the image and just roll that. You shouldn't need, is it going to tell you need to target someone?
No, it's just normal roll, yeah?
Yep. You should get away with it here. Here we go. So a 23 does hit you, I believe. Because you're so you're not trying to do damage is the question. You're just trying to tie him up.
I'm just trying to tie him up with it.
Superfish, what's up? So, all at the same time, Youngblood, you grab your whip off your belt, you drop it to its length, and you crack, send it around his waist, which ties his hands and that down to his side. At that instant, Pooh, you step forward after now being able to see. In the instant of blindness, you step forward and you reach out, and you can now do the same thing to him if you wish, because he cannot stop you, because he is now bound with a whip.
Right on the tip of his nose.
So who reaches out to you, Mr. Blue Man, and touches you on the tip of your nose, gives you a boop on the nose, and casts light, which instantly blinds you in the same fashion.
Soon as I see the light, I'll pull it up and spin him around circles. I can leave him spinning.
So you go pull the whip back. I say this also spooks the oxen as well. So the ox spooks and sort of bucks a little bit and sort of veers to one side. So I'll need Youngblood. I'll need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please. Trash, I'll need you to make a dexterity saving throw for being spun. So you fail your dex save. You get knocked into by the oxen, Youngblood, and it knocks you to the ground. You don't take any damage, but it just knocks you on your ass. Trash, you get spun. You cannot see, but you manage to miss the large horn of this oxen, which you were standing quite close to, just by mere maybe an inch as you're spun. Do you leave the light up or do you dispel it?
No, I take it. I dispel it.
Dispel it?
Pretty much.
So as you're spun,
I just say to him, I can do the same thing.
And as you spun sort of around 360, Trash, you come to a stop. The light is gone. Maybe feeling a little dizzy, but then you realize, as you turn, you realize exactly how close you were to that horn as the ox now moves back close to you, and it's like within a mere, maybe an inch of your abdomen. Could have been rather nasty. I'll leave it back over to you guys to how you play this out.
I say to blue guys, now we need to get on, guys. We need to start working together.
I
I just
agree.
want to finish this job and get out of here.
Well, setting light on somebody, making them blind that they can't see, doesn't really get us to get this going, does it? I just wanted to
I've
teach
got
you
to
a
say,
lesson.
it was funny. It was funny. Well played. It was funny.
Yeah, funny until you hurt yourself and you couldn't do the job. Like, I'm a cocky, funny guy, but need to get the job done. And little sexy boy over here thought he thinks he's better than us. He thinks he's beneath us. So taught him a lesson, showed him that he's not better than us. I got him straight away. It is time to work together. What do you think, Bugs?
Whatever you say, big fella. At least it's not boring, eh?
Exactly. I'll pat him on the ears again.
Let's
that
get this
upload?
glorified cow moving again.
And with that, oh my god, oh, you guys are terrible. It's fun, but with that, we'll go to our travel map. So, start traveling the high road out of Neverwinter. It has been probably an hour or two now. The banter's been back and forth a little bit. Trash, has your character still not introduced yourself to anyone?
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting. Does anyone press this information at any time?
Yes, because that's what I was originally going to do.
Okay, carry on. I'll turn it back over to you guys. You carry on.
So come on, give with the name. What's your name? What are you doing over here? What's the deal?
My business is my home. My name's Tallfellow. That's all you need to know.
Tall fellow. Well, that's a start.
He looks like his mother made it with a lizard.
Young blood would go up to sexy boy, put his hand over his shoulder. No hard feelings there, mate, right?
Remove your hand from my shoulder.
I'll keep it there, so it's okay, mate. Try and be friendly.
Shit. So I touch his hand. Shocking grasp.
Roll ahead. You don't need to target anyone. You should just be able to roll it from your sheet.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I believe 24 does hit you, Youngblood. So you will take 7 points of damage, lightning damage. Are you actually, firstly, are you intending on hurting him?
Me?
Yes. Because you can
No,
you can dish out the damage or not. It's up to you.
No, it's a get your hand off or else.
So you are choosing not to issue the
Not that
7
matter.
damage?
Yeah.
We'll issue 1 damage as a warning.
Yep.
So do you know how to remove health from your sheet?
Not in this part, no.
Okay, I'll do that for you. So we'll just change your number. So you've taken 1 point of lightning damage as Tall Fellow reaches out and touches your hand and releases an electrical shock into your hand. It's not like hugely damaging, but it's enough to instantly pull your hand away in pain.
I'll give a bit of a chuckle. Okay, I won't touch you no more. Just trying to be friendly.
I don't want to be friends. I just want to get this job done.
Fair. And I'll just walk away, leave him alone.
So with that, anything else that anyone else does in that instant?
With the blue man, so do we still need to move this oxen forward, or are we walking and talking?
Yeah, walking and talking.
Walking.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, walking and talking.
we don't need to go through the animal handling checks multiple times. I mean, it's a beast of burden. You've got an idea of how to get it moving, whether you give it a slap on the ass or maybe even entice it with an apple or whatever. I mean, you guys are intelligent enough to do that. So you're walking and talking. So you're traveling along the high road.
So Youngblood's pretty much next to me.
I would say at this point,
next to the blue guy.
Yeah, because you were next to the blue. If you chose to stay there at that moment in the travel, then your Youngbloods come over and sort of, you guys were almost flanking Tall Fellow in between you. Youngblood's probably now moved back to the opposite side after being shocked, leaving you next to Tall Fellow.
Youngblood, shake my head and say, "This one's a piece of work, mate. This one's a piece of work."
All the while, Arcos is sort of lying back on the cart, sort of just observing.
It's all right. I'll break him. I'll make him friendly.
You
It's
in
my
this
mission,
for the money, blue fella? Could I pay you to piss off then? I got a bit of coin. Hang on. And he sort of goes into his pocket and he does this.
Oh shit! That was gold. You're muted, Trash.
I cast Mage Hand and slap him. Just a slap across the face.
I feel Tracy's going to get himself killed here really shortly. So you cast Mage Hand and you slap him. I think you can roll to hit with your Mage Hand stats, I believe.
No, it's not letting me.
Let me see what it is. Just roll a d20 and add your strength modifier. Just roll a d20 in the chat there and whatever your strength modifier is. That'd be a dirty 20 at least, unless your modifier is -1.
Strength modifier attributes is 0, so that's 19.
So it definitely hits. So Arcos, is your Mage Hand visible or invisible?
Invisible.
So yeah, you feel something hits you. But I would say Mage Hand is vocal and somatic, so you'd know where it came from. And you just got an inspiration grim from the chat.
Smack me around. You could at least buy me dinner first, eh? Keep your magical hands to yourself. Wasn't born yesterday.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty sure.
It's about this point, as you're walking, this is happening, you hear a sniggering. There's other people on the road. You guys aren't alone. This is a main thoroughfare for Sword Coast. This is one of the main roads used by merchants, travellers, city guard, and you hear a snickering from behind you, and you turn and you see a couple of, one looks human, the other one looks maybe possibly half elven, you're not entirely sure, but they're carrying bows, and looks like one of them's got a roll of, looks like animal pelts. You hear them sort of sniggering, and I'd say Arcos, you'd probably be the one that hears it more than anyone else. You guys are more up the front of the cart, who, tall fellow and Youngblood, so Arcos, you probably definitely sort of hear this before anyone else, and you sort of hear one of them turn to his mate and goes, if they're supposed to be working together, you should follow them. I think they're going to fail. We could, take the gold that they're supposed to earn. Bit easy money. And they obviously can't work together. His mate sort of says, well, yeah, maybe. Let's watch them a little longer.
How far behind are they?
About 15-20 feet.
And it's sort of like open, flat road, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
It's
open
like I said,
space.
it's a main road, so it's all open space. And like I said, these other people going. There's people going both ways. It's not like fully crowded, but there's every now and again there's people coming the other way, and these guys, you're not sure when they sort of got behind you, but they've probably been there a little while. You guys have been too busy dealing with whatever you're dealing with to have probably noticed them at this point. But the conversation got a little louder than maybe it should have, which sort of pricked with your hearing, shall we say, with your exceptionally large ears. I would say that you've caught some of this conversation.
I'm going to move to the back of the cart and wait for a good time to maybe jump off the back of the cart and get behind them.
Okay. So you wait a little longer, and at one point, I'd say you guys probably stop, just briefly, maybe to water the oxen. The oxen's getting a little tired. You've got water skins there available for that. And these guys they stopped as well for a brief time to again take a bit of a rest. They sit down on the side of the road, have a bit of a drink from their own water skins, something to eat. It's about midday. This would be your opportunity, Arcos, if you were to take it, if you wish to get to a position behind them and not be seen. So if that is what you are indeed intending, a stealth check from you, I'd say at advantage as well. Ooh. Because they are not focused on you at this point. They are eating and drinking. You can roll that. You can roll that again if you want. Take the higher. 19. As far as you're aware, I'll just make a quick roll here. But as far as you're aware, you are hidden at this point.
No.
What is your intention? Do you let your companions know what you're up to?
No.
So
my intention is to steal from them.
I kind of figured. So with a 19, I will get. You guys have stopped. I'll get a perception check from the rest of you. So Trash, JJ, and Era, I'll get perception checks from you guys, please. Because I don't think any of your passives would have been high enough to see it. So, tall fellow, you do not see Arcos take off, nor does Who. Even with Who's large eyes and perception, neither does Youngblood. So none of you see Arcos sort of slip away while you're taking a short break at the side of the road. say we're gonna put you just a little further forward on the map here. Probably about to there. So Arcos, you step off the back of the wagon, you dart into the trees off to the side of the road. And, well, it's probably not even trees, it's probably more like long grass and a few bushes here and there. There's quite a distance between the road and the forest line. But there seems to be rocks and shrubbery. It gives you a reasonable amount of cover. And at this point you are hidden from them. They are seated, sort of their backs to the tree line behind them, facing the road. What are you doing?
Just sort of get in and try and lift their coin purses.
Both of them? Or just one?
I'll probably go for the one that suggested following us.
Okay, so that'll be
first, and then if I
okay.
muck that up, I'll.
So this will be the human who as you move forward, will be sitting on the right-hand side of the duo.
Yep.
So I will get you to... Your stealth check is pretty good, so we'll remain with that. We'll get you to roll a sleight of hand as you slowly make your way up behind them. That is a good roll. And you deftly reach forward with one hand, and as you were slowly creeping up, you noticed a reasonably plentiful coin purse attached to the right hand side of his belt. Describe how you lift this purse.
All right. So seeing it sort of sat there, I'll go to grab it at first, and then I'll remember my dagger, and I'll just slowly slice down the seam and let the coins sort of flow out into like a maybe like a handkerchief or something. So it sort of just slowly starts to pour out into the handkerchief and sort of collect it up that way, so I don't actually have to lift the purse from him.
No worries.
And then when he gets up, he'll probably realize it's not there, but because he's seated, the weight's not sort of...
Exactly. Yeah. So easily enough, you slice open a hole in the coin purse. The coins do fall slowly out into the handkerchief, and you allow them to drop in such a way they don't clink together so much. They do a little bit, but the other guy sitting next to him is quite restless as he's seated anyway, so he's making a lot of rustling noises, and even his own coin purse is clinking a little bit, so it's not noticed. And you scrunch up the cloth handkerchief, whatever it is, into your hand, placing it into your own pocket, and then slowly back away, if that's what you wish to do. Up to you. I mean, if you want to push the issue, your stealth check will remain. You'll have to make, if you're wanting to lift the other purse or do something else, it'll be another sleight of hand check, perhaps, depending on what you want to do.
He'll feeling a bit cocky at how well that went. He'll go for the other one. Having heard it as he's sort of like getting those coins, he'll be like, "Oh, nah, they don't know I'm here. I can grab this other lot of money."
So we will have to roll another sleight of hand check, please. You privately rolled it.
Oh, that's because I privately rolled a decision to whether I...
You can right-click it and show everyone, I think, on that second roll.
Reveal to everyone.
Yep, that's it. So 16.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. It's not bad. I need to roll just a quick perception check here. You were lucky. You were lucky. This time, however, you didn't try the same trick twice. You're not that silly. So this time, you take the weight of the coin purse, slip your dagger under the thin tie that's tied onto its belt, and just give it a quick flick with your wrist, and the coin purse drops into the palm of your hand. You pocket it and slowly move away, seemingly unseen or unheard. and you make your way back to your companions. As you can see now, they're getting ready to sort of start moving again, and you guys would, at this point, you've now stood up, getting ready to move, and you've noticed that you can't see Arcos anywhere. He's not on the back of the cart.
Guy?
He's probably run off. We should just leave.
No,
You need a JJ.
He's part of us.
I'll just start yelling it.
At this point, he more or less appears behind you, tall fellow.
It's alright, I'm back. I just needed to take a Wes. We all good?
I'm probably giving you a little bit of a start because you would not have hurt him at all. Nothing too frightening. I mean, you don't get a huge fright or anything like that, but definitely a little, maybe a little unnerving that you didn't hear him coming.
Yeah, well, here, let's get a wriggle on.
Yeah, let's go.
So Arcos, you have just pilfered 28 gold. I rolled exceptionally high on that gold. You got lucky, dude. 28 gold coins you've just stolen from the two hunters. And as you set out, are you back on the back of the wagon, Arcos, or are you walking?
Nah, he'd get back on the back of the wagon. Why walk when you don't have to, right?
And with that, after about a couple of minutes of walking, you hear from behind you, quite loudly this time, "You stole my purse! Give my gold back!" And as you turn to see as all you sort of turn as you hear this, you see these two individuals have stopped and are pushing and shoving each other. He goes, "No, you stole my coin purse. I had it when I was sitting down. Give it back." And he said, I haven't, you took mine. Look. And they just get into a fist fight. They start throwing punches and they start rolling around the road. And eventually you see a armored individual with a spear and a shield sort of comes running down the road. He'd been on horseback and had stopped off his horse, come running back down. And you recognize the armor as one of the city guard from Neverwinter. And he comes in with a spear and he grabs one guy, pulls him off the other and separates them. And by that stage, it's just muffled sort of yellings from down the road. And I'd say that probably serves Arcos quite satisfactorily at this point. As you continue your journey, heading towards the end of your first day's journey anyway. So we're just after lunch now. Is there anything you guys wish to discuss as you continue walking as the day starts to draw in? Arcos is probably feeling a little chuffed with himself right now. Anything else you guys wish to discuss before we go to a quick break?
No, I'm good.
You guys are really starting to do my head in. You really are, especially you, Trash.
No, quick breaks needed, to be honest.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, guys. I'm going to beat Trashy with a hammer to try and get him to actually RP a little bit more. We'll be right back. We'll be right back in a few. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, Raiders, too, by the way. Superfish, you guys, you're awesome. Cheers for the raid, buddy. And we'll be right back. Right, we are back. What's up, chat? Firstly, just want to thank everybody for turning up tonight and sharing our story with us. My name is Evldoa. I'm from New Zealand, and I am a relatively new DM. I've been DMing now for 2 or 3 years. Did a homebrew campaign, then we did Curse of Strahd. We've got a second homebrew campaign in the works. It's coming up after we finish Vampire the Masquerade, and of course we've done a mini adventure or two, and now doing Lost Mines with some Freudians from over the ditch in Aussie, Australia. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you so much, chat, for joining us, and thank you for your channel points usage as well. As I said, the channel points have changed a little bit. They're still there, obviously, but the players and myself must use the redemptions on the night they are received. They cannot hold them over to another session. The reason for this is we've had players which have had lots and lots and lots of points left over after they've died in a campaign. So just easier we can get them out of the way.
Drax.
Yes, Drax. Oh, so did Sadiq. Sadiq had like 20 or something left over in Curse as well. But yes, so we have, I know Era has an inspiration. I believe Gurim also either has an advantage or an inspiration as well so far, and the DM has an advantage, which I will be using at some point. But without any further ado, we shall get back into our session here. So Arcos has just proceeded to relieve a couple of hunters of their hefty coin purses after overhearing a conversation in which they were potentially aiming to follow our newfound adventurers and possibly relieving them of their gold. Arcos seems to have beaten them to the punch rather stealthily, and they have now started fighting and have been, looks like, possibly being arrested for disturbing the peace on the high road leading away from Neverwinter. So we have our group and our individuals. The cart has been moved forward again. Roughly your positioning is, I'd say, much the same as it was before. Youngblood and Tallfellow at the front area somewhere. Where have you placed yourself? Are you up near the front or towards the back, middle of the cart? Arcos has perched himself up on the top, as he did before.
Yeah, up towards the front.
On which side, left or right?
Well, left side.
So you're up, sort of walking with Tallfellow, behind or in front?
A little bit behind.
A little bit behind.
Just
okay.
keeping an eye on him.
Okay. So, with that, you continue onwards for another hour or so. You see many individuals traveling this high road south of the city of Neverwinter. The day is starting to draw in. You're probably early afternoon. The clouds starting to cover over a little bit. To the north, if you look to the north, the clouds are starting to darken over the mountains. Distant thunder can be heard. I mean way distant, so it's a really distant rumble. Maybe a flash or two of lightning over the mountain ranges. Not too much to be concerned about for you, it seems. Definitely a fair way off. You continue onwards. Is there any more conversation to be had between the four of you before we move forward to the end of the day, and where you may find somewhere to camp, perhaps, because you know your first day will maybe get you to the start of the Trebor Trail, maybe. So is there any more conversations?
Walk over to Sexy Boy again. Not gonna touch her. Relax. But what's your deal? Don't want to be friends. Don't want to be friends, fine. Don't want to be friends with you either. Still like a dickhead. But what's your deal? What do you bring to the table? Why are you here?
Why do you want to know I am here? I'm here to do this job, just like you.
Because much as you want to do this job, doesn't sound like you're all in it. We have to be a team and...
I'm in it for the
Okay.
money.
I'm in it for the money too. I need money too.
As long as I don't have to make friends.
Okay. What about at least teammates so we can get along? At least get along.
If there's a battle, I will help.
Okay, what are you going to do in this battle? What are you going to bring to us?
Leave me alone. You're bothering me now.
Bothering you? I'm just... Look, to be honest, man. I think Bugs wants to kill you.
You can
Again.
try.
Wise man. I don't know much about him yet. I'm going to talk to him. And it's me. I'm trying to figure out if I should kill you or not right now. So,
Be my guest.
you care about the money, but you don't care about your life.
Do you care about your life?
Fucking oath I do. I fought to have this life.
Then don't get in a tangle with me.
Okay. No, leave him be again. I'll walk over to Wise Man. What do you think of this bloke? Little sexy boy over here in his blue fucking skin.
Yeah, he's a strange one. He's a strange one, my friend.
Yeah, see, you want to be friends. See? It's not that hard to do.
Are you saying this loud enough for sexy boy to hear?
I said that friends part
Yes.
Yeah,
loud
okay.
enough to... Little dig.
No worries.
So what
So-
what brings you on this little adventure?
I'm from Neverwinter. Been on the streets mostly. So I just always take these jobs for the money. Got dumped as a kid. Been on the streets most of my life. I'm always around looking for jobs. Always doing little jobs around here in Neverwinter.
Yeah,
Yourself?
I started adventuring, and then enjoy the adventuring and meeting people, but it's a family thing, a little bit of pressure, expectations, etc. And I'm doing what I enjoy doing now.
Fair. Yeah, I'm a bit of a cheeky fella, a bit cocky, but when you're on the streets, you gotta get by. Being cocky, be a little cheeky, gets you by. People can't sometimes read me. So for me, a bit cocky, being a bit cheeky, it's just me being me. No stress.
Yeah, it just concerns me that Mr. Blue Boy over there may be an issue when we get into a battle. Not wanting to talk and kind of gel with the team. Just it's in the back of my head.
Yeah, I agree.
And if we do get into a fight.
I agree. Mr. Sexy Boy needs to get his shit together. But we'll see in the first battle.
Yeah, Arcos is up there. Like I think Arcos might come around. He's a bit of a crank at times, from what we've seen, but I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to him next. No. Leave, Wise Man. Now walk next to the cart, next to Bugs. Yo, Bugs, what's up?
You realise every fucking person on this road can hear you, right?
I don't give a fuck.
I mean, that's pretty obvious.
I'm trying to get you guys. I don't give a fuck what they can hear.
Don't worry about the blue fella, it'll be fine. We're only escorting a cart. What sort of trouble can we get into? Although there's a lot of bandits and goblins, and I think I saw a rook along this road once.
You just answered your own question, didn't you?
Well, yeah. But then, like, if there's a large bird, they're probably going to take the shiny one, right? And he's shiny as fuck.
You're not wrong.
And then he's gone.
suppose if something happens to him, we don't have to exactly save him.
I mean, look, I'll watch his back, if only because then he might owe me.
Fair. But I had a little chat to him before. I don't know if you heard, but I don't think he cares about much at all.
That's all
I don't
right.
even think he'll want his help if he did die. He'll just want to die.
It's no mind, mate. There's plenty of pricks in the world. He's
Yeah,
just a big
exactly.
blue one. It's fine. Don't you worry about it.
So, what's your deal, Bugs? Why are you here?
I'm here to escort this stuff to fucking Phandalin, mate.
Why? Why'd you take the job? If you don't mind
But-
me asking.
I kind of do, actually. But,
Okay.
I mean, money. Everyone needs money,
Well,
right?
We all need money. But
Well, there you
I thought
go.
Maybe a venture or whatnot, you know? Wise man
No.
up there loves the venture. So,
No.
you know, people have their different... Lost track of thought. And he's just thinking.
Don't hurt yourself there. You be right?
Yep, I'm fine, mate. I'm fine. What about yourself? You know?
I am absolutely fine. I'm just laying here. This big fella here is just taking me all the way. No walking for me, mate.
Yeah, you're lucky you can get in there. I'm too big.
You're damn right.
Wouldn't you like to know where I'm big, eh?
Look, mate, keep that sort of shenanigans to yourself. There's no kink shame, all right? But I'm not into that.
I'm fucking myself now. Yep, okay. Nice chat. No, let's walk off with that.
Well done.
And the young blood would just, you know, he's talked to everybody, so he would just think he's done his dash, so he's go just be by himself.
Does anyone else have any conversations outside that? I mean, a little bit there. No other conversations to be had?
I got to jump off the cart and go talk to fucking tall fella. Are you always been a prick, mate, or is there a problem?
Just get away from me.
I mean, I could get away from you, I suppose. Pretty quick.
Then
You're not very happy, fella, are you? If I give you some money, would you cheer up a little, or?
like you have money. Isn't that why you got this job?
I mean, yeah, but you know, stop you from being such an ornery. I mean, those two won't shut up. They think you're gonna like stab them in the back or something.
I'm here
You
to
think you'll
do the
settle
job.
down if I like gave you like 5 gold? Is that palatable for you?
I'm here to do the job. Nothing more, nothing less.
I mean, I've still got 5 gold if you're gonna stop being a prick. It's fair, right? That's your job. Be less of a prick. You'll get 5 gold. I could write it out in a contract if you like. Give you 6 if you smile. A little bit of a smile.
And I just start to ignore him.
Jesus. Just walk away. Walk away. Hop back on the cart. I tried, fellas. I tried.
Yeah, he's a piece of work.
He's a piece of something.
Piece of shit? Is that what you're trying to say? Piece of shit? You can just say it.
No. No, he's too blue for that.
Fair.
Look, maybe he's really handy in a fight. Maybe, you know, he's got some magic, you know. Maybe he'll be useful if not pleasant.
Yeah, as long as he's not too handy.
I see what you did there. It's
I
fucking
don't
funny.
think he's going to be handy with us. Yeah. He's no fun.
Well, with that, you continue your journey, and eventually the sun does start to set on this day. And you know, soon you're going to have to find somewhere to camp. So, I'll either get all of you to make a survival check and we'll take the average, or you can nominate one person to make that roll at advantage, searching for a suitable camping ground or a camping spot.
I think I might go with Arcos doing that.
Really?
Yeah, I'll agree.
I don't know. I'm looking at your guys' stats here. I'm thinking, you've probably got the best fucking survival, actually.
Yeah. Mine's a
Yeah.
plus
You want
0.
me? You want me?
You've
Want
got
me
a.
to roll for it?
You're the only one with a. Well, Arcos and Youngblood. You've got a. You two have got probably the highest.
I'll roll it if you want.
You can roll at advantage if you're going to nominate the one. So it's up to you guys. You can all roll it together. We'll take an average, or you can nominate one roll.
Nominate one because our rolls of the past hour have been shit.
All right. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to put my advantage on top. So I've used it, my inspiration. So I'm going to
Okay.
use the advantage and then dump
And
an
then double
inspiration
it.
on
Yeah,
top.
Smart.
awesome. Well done. Definitely a smart idea. So we got a 14 and roll your
14,
D10 on
and
top.
then a D10.
That's pretty good anyway. With a D10 on top is 17.
Yeah, 17.
So with a 17, Arcos, you were nominated by your group to search for a suitable campsite, and you've got pretty good. You got pretty good stealth skills, but it appears you got pretty good survival skills too. And you spy a pretty good spot, which not going inland, but actually going towards the coast. You find that there's a small stream which seems to bubble up out of almost seemingly no more, and that may be a natural underwater spring. Seems to be bubbling up through next to a set of rocks and flows into a small creek that flows down towards the sea. So you can see the ocean from where you are. It's off in the distance, but this gives you some fresh drinking water, and it's a relatively flat ground, and there's a pile of rocks and trees to one side which seemingly give you enough shelter in case the wind maybe picks up the course of the late afternoon and evening. So you pull your bullock and his wagon off, and I could have had the wagon sound running this whole time and I forgot, so we'll do that later, but I forgot about all my volume, my sounds. But anyway, you stop for the evening. It's sort of late afternoon, the sun's just starting to go down, so the sky's gone from the sort of a blue-grey that was the cloudiness of the day into more of a sort of orange and purple of the early evening. You untether the bullock from the cart to give it a rest from the heavy weight that's on its back, and you tether it to a tree nearby, allowing it to graze naturally around the grass. It appears that he's trying to knock over that tree. You could have done that during the break. Every fucking time. Anywho, so the bullock is trying to knock over the tree, but not really succeeding. You guys start clattering about, organising yourselves. You know that there are provisions on the back of the cart for yourselves: tents, bedrolls, rations, and things like that. So you set yourselves up. It takes you about an hour. By the time you get yourself set up and get your tents and everything set up, and you get a fire lit and start maybe preparing an evening meal with the rations you have, or the food supplies you have available, pot of coffee perhaps, the sun is just set beyond the hills. So it's now relatively dark. We will turn off our travelling music. So it is now a relatively quiet evening, apart from the clattering of pots and pans from you organising your breakfast, or your dinner, shall we say. So I'll turn it over to you guys now, as it's still early evening, you're about to eat, and you are really needing to organise perhaps a watch. You know that you've got this cart to look after. All of you are from around the area. You know these bandits in the area. You know these animals. You know that you're going to have to organise some form of watch for the evening.
God, these rations are a bit tough. Probably should have cooked them a bit longer. I got the huge teeth and it's... So, I think we're all pretty aware we're going to need to do some watches during the night. I don't care when. I don't see too well in the dark. I don't know whether you fellas do particularly well in the dark. I'm happy to take whatever watch.
I'll take the middle.
All right. He speaks.
You take around middle too.
All right. So,
Don't you think it would be wise to have the ones that can see in the dark better to do the night watch?
yeah, well, I'll take the first one before it gets too dark. Owl fella, you see all right in the dark, mate?
Definitely.
Well, they say it's darkest before the dawn. I don't know whether that's true. I never really paid much attention, but if you take the last
good.
watch and we'll have these two fellas in the middle, I'll
Sounds
wake
good to
up
me.
Blue Boy, because I know he'll be real happy about that. And then the big fella here, he can take third watch, and then he'll wake you up. And hopefully we don't all get shivved in the night by each other or, you know, someone else on the road. I know you think it's funny, mate, but it's pretty likely, honestly.
Look, no one's going to try to shiv me. I'm a fucking big boy.
I mean, yeah, you probably take this whole dagger and probably wouldn't even meet you halfway.
Exactly, mate. I'll pull it out and stab it at them. I'm not scared of getting stabbed, mate. That's why I found it funny. You're going to try to stab me, I'm going to laugh at him.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a bit weird,
this is
I'm not
going
gonna
on,
lie.
I'm looking around, checking out what trees we've got around us for a good spot to actually set myself up on for the watch I'm on.
Right, so who's taking first watch? And I mean that as in who is taking first watch, not who's taking first watch.
So,
Sure, bugs.
yeah, it's Arcos, it's
Oh, Arcos, then
Xanxus, Youngblood,
and then
who?
Okay, so you got a bit of time before you need to set up watch. You got, let's say, you got probably 2 or 3 hours of time where you could sit and talk if you wish to talk some more before turning in for the evening. I mean, we know that Trashy's going to do as little talk as possible because it's hard for him. It's hard for him to RP. I don't know why he bothers to play if he doesn't want to RP. kind of seems pointless if you're not going to RP.
I have my moment.
You do. Few and far between, but they do happen. I'm giving you shit, Trash. But anyway, I'll leave it up to you to see what you guys want to talk about before you decide to go into your first watch rotation. If there's nothing you want to discuss, we'll go straight into watch.
I'll walk over to Sexy Boy again, because I'm not going to give up on this bloke. I'm just this annoying guy. It's like, I need to break him. It's in my head. I need to break this guy. What's up, blue guy? What's up, Sexy Boy? Hey, what's going on?
What do you want now?
Just want to talk? You must like talking about something. Your hobbies? Best kill? What was your best kill? You love killing people, right? What was your favourite kill?
You, if you don't shut up.
I'd like to see that. Anyway, what's your least favourite kill then?
I don't have favourite kills or least favourite kills.
Oh, well, you seem like a bit of an arsehole.
If something
just thought
gets
you might
in the
like the
way,
kill
I
part.
remove it.
Okay. What's your favourite adventure? You
Not
must
this
always
one.
go on. Well, maybe it will be at the end. You never know. Maybe it will come besties. We'll go on adventures together, young blood and blue guy.
I don't see that happening in your future.
Who knows? You can't see the future. Or can you? You got power to do that or what? I don't know. We're doing all this magic lately. Can you see the future?
Get out of my face.
Why are you
You
so...
read my palm? Can you read my palm if you can see the future?
He said I could see the future. I didn't say I could.
I asked a question because we're doing this magic stuff. You said you don't know you can see the future. We can't be mates. So I thought you might have. You can see the future.
Like I said before, I'm here to do a job.
We can have fun on the job.
I don't want to have fun. I want to
Why
do
not?
the job, get paid, and leave.
So we're going to do right now when there's no job to do. Yes, we're on the job right now, but we're not exactly doing anything. He's got to sit here like a fucking little, like a grumpy asshole, just do nothing.
And with that, he grabs the whatever meal was prepared and eats it and goes to bed.
Wow. I tried, fellas. It just won't break. I won't give up, though. I promise you.
Some people aren't worth it. You drive yourself crazy.
I'm already crazy here, can't you tell?
It had occurred to me.
What about you, Bugs? You weren't really talking before. You want to talk more now?
I know. What do you want to know?
I don't know. What's your hobbies? You got any hobbies?
Hobbies. I don't mind a good game of cards, maybe some dice.
Nice, nice.
Bit
You
of
like to
day
gamble?
bit of day drinking, bit of night drinking,
Hey,
sometimes
I'm
some
with you
early
there.
morning drinking.
Drinking's fun. Do you like to gamble in these card and dice games? You a gambler?
No, never a gamble with me, mate. I'll always get what I'm after.
There you go. I like it. I like it. How are you? Who? Wise man, how are you, mate? What's your hobbies? You like to venture, but you got anything else?
Yeah, reading books.
Hey, I don't like reading books, but I can respect it. You got a favourite book?
No, just reading books.
Just reading books. Okay. If I wanted to read a book, because I've never read one before, I can't even read properly. But if I wanted to try, what book would you tell me to read?
I got one for you, mate. It's called The Art of Minding Your Fucking Business.
Hey, I'm not fucking tired. You're not going to sleep. Why not get to know each other? That's a simple question.
Just like super personal, buddy.
How's asking what book would you recommend me to read personal?
I don't know. I'm thinking more. You call him sexy boy? I wonder he doesn't want to have a bar, huh?
Look, he's a good looking bloke.
Oh, he's really not.
Have you seen him? He's half naked. Nice shine to him.
I mean, if it does it for you, that's fine. It really is. Like,
I don't swing that way, but you got to respect it.
I'm not sure I believe you, but and I'm not sure I got to respect anything he does. But
You got to give him something, maybe. The
You're just like
sexiness.
super chatty. I thought you'd be more like rough and tumble, but you sort of like
Fucking me-
want to get to know
Oh.
people, have a fucking tea party, which is it's just fine. But
Tea party? There's no tea here, mate. I can fight when I want to fight, but I can't fight you guys, can I? So I got to do
I mean-
something.
I mean, you could. That
You wanna
blue
fight?
fella's that blue fella's scrapping for a fight.
Yeah, look, I could fight him if I wanted to. I'm not scared of him, but we need to somehow be a team. I can't hurt the bloke.
I mean, we're escorting a cart. It's not some sort of epic fucking adventure into the depths of the nine hells, mate. It's
Can you see
taking
the
this
future?
cart.
What's going to happen in the future? What happens in the future? What? You've said it yourself before. There's heaps of shit in this road. Who knows who we'll run into?
Well, if we run into it and we put him out front, we'll be right. Shiny.
Well, you think this is top shit, so yeah, we probably could have let him do it by himself. He keeps,
I mean, he did put the fucking light on old Feathers here.
Yeah, alright. And he shocked me before, I don't know if you noticed. He gave me a bit of a shock.
Well, you
He's
did
got-
try and give him a old whip.
I didn't whip him, I just tied
You
him up with it.
fucking did. You
I did not
absolutely did. He did, didn't he, Feathers? Come on now.
I didn't physically whip him, I
Well,
tied him up
whip-
with it.
It was like whips and tying stuff up. Like
He
both of
bloody reached in, he got it out, and he just
Yeah.
I did not physically hit him with it, I tied him with it. It's different.
I think
wanted to
tying
hurt
him
him
up
with it,
probably
You know,
worse.
there are a few books out there that you might enjoy reading that have got to do with whips and chains. You know, like
Oh,
they might
yeah.
interest. I'll give you some lists of them a little bit later.
See? That's who wants to be friends. No one wants to be friends here.
I'm happy to be friends with you, mate. I really am. You
I'm just
seem
too
like
chatty.
you seem like a charming fella. You know, maybe once we've done this, we can have a few drinks. I'll find you a
if you-
good book if you want. Like,
Look, if you want to have a drink, you find me chatty now. You don't want to get me drunk. Oh, you won't shut me up.
you might try and touch old Blue again. Look, maybe we just like call it a night. Maybe start fresh in the morning. I can't promise you he'll be in a better mood. I tried, I really did, but
I did too, I thought calling him sexy might make him feel good about himself. I'll stop that. I'll just call him Blue Man like all you guys.
Mm.
Does that make you feel better?
a little, I guess. If that's what you want.
God, can't win. Fucking bugs over here.
Is
Well,
there
off to
anything
bed,
else?
fellas.
Everyone's going to bed. Night, fellas. I like you. Hey, who? You're alright. You're the only person I like so far. I try with the rest, so I give a fuck. Night, fellas.
Do you want a
No.
cuddle? Do you want? I'll give you cuddle. Don't be so.
A cuddle? What the fuck you talking about now? He didn't want me to touch you before.
Yeah, on my terms.
On your terms.
Consent is important, mate.
A pat in the head's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, but you can't just go up and touch a fella.
Okay, I'm sorry. You don't need a hug. I don't need a hug.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
And with
Night,
that, you go your separate way. You go to your separate tents. You turn in for the evening. Arcos, you remain up as you have been nominated first watch. And for the first part of your watch, what is Arcos doing for the first sort of half hour, 45 minutes, hour? Because I mean, the first part, not everyone's going to be straight to sleep. They're going to be sort of turning, stirring. It's been a day. You've had a pretty long day's walk. I mean, you're all tired, but not exhausted.
Arcus would just sort of kick around, sort of like survey the area a bit, make sure he knows where everyone's sort of situated. Do that thing where you like poke a stick into the fire,
Yeah. causes the sparks to sort of those embers to fly up into the night sky.
Yeah. And then sort of wait until he thinks everyone's asleep.
So you wait about an hour into your watch. Roll a perception check for me. So you're trying to determine whether everyone's asleep?
Yep.
Okay, so roll a perception check for me. Yeah, it's not bad. You got the DC. I mean, DC's 10. You're fairly certain that by now everyone should be asleep. I'd say you hear the occasional sort of grumble, maybe from Tall Fellow's tent as he tosses and turns. Maybe hear him grumble under his breath, fucking ground's too fucking hard. Just general grumbling, but he seems like it's in his sleep, not conscious thought. Get the occasional bodily function noises coming from Youngblood's tent. He's a big dude. He's had a lot of beans for dinner, so you get the occasional sort of from over the tent that way. And from Who's tent, you get the rustling of feathers every now and again as it again tosses and turns. Occasional sort of in his sleep, he hoots a little bit in his sleep. Nothing major, but you're pretty certain they're all asleep.
Nice. So as I sort of get closer to the end of my watch, I grab my disguise kit out, and I get the cosmetics.
Yep.
And I sort of just have them like palmed in my hand, and then as it gets closer to the end of my watch, I'll go to Tall Fellow's tent to wake him up. I'm gonna try and put some makeup on his face, make him look like a sexy boy.
So I'll get you to roll another perception check for the actual watch. I mean, you definitely determined they were asleep. So for your watch now, while you're waiting, you sort of mill around the tents, looking around. Not bad, that's better. So you look around the tents. You do a couple of circuits, and on occasion, you off in the distance, you hear the howl of a wolf off in the distance. Nothing major. Just then occasionally you hear the just random noises. Sound of the forest, obviously. Sound of the fire crackling. In that occasional wolf, but then you hear a larger growl. This one's a little closer. Bit of a not so much of a growl, but it's sort of just a noise, and then cracking of branches and that to the south of the camp. Not sure what it is, but it's odd. Make a survival check for me just quickly. I'm not sure how much time Arcos has spent out in the wilderness. Quite a fair bit, it seems. You sort of stop and listen. You know that noise. You've heard it before. It's a bear, maybe. Maybe a bear and a cub, perhaps. But after a while it sort of dissipates and you don't hear it anymore. But you're pretty wary still that something might be out there. Maybe the fire warned it off, perhaps. But towards the end of your watch, you grab your disguise kit and make your way over to Tall Fellow's tent. What is your intention?
Well, it's sort of like, it's going to be hard because Just imagine like trying to do something on someone's face and then wake up, but I'm trying to put maybe some lipstick on him, you know, like, and maybe something like on the eyebrows. Maybe I was thinking about eyeshadow, but that's I mean, you'd have to have the best sleight of hand in the world to.
Yeah, I'll get you to roll a sleight of hand anyway, but I will get you to roll at disadvantage because, like you say, it's
hell yeah,
not going to be easy to try and get this on his face.
Oof.
Oh,
The gamut.
Both ends of the scale.
The pure gamut.
Oh, wow. Damn. Okay, so with that, unfortunately, you reach into the tent and you reach across him, and as you go to put that first bit of lipstick on, you sort of overlean, like you overbalance yourself, and you poke that lipstick right into his cheek, and it goes up his cheek into his eyeball, and he is instantly awake.
Hey, buddy, it's your watch.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm waking you.
Get the fuck off me right now.
As you say, boss. And I'll just sort of skip out.
Probably a wise idea. So, Tallfell, your hand goes to your face. You got your eye it's hurting. You don't take any damage, but it's like ow, like whatever he's poked into your eye, that hurt. It's watery. You sort of wipe your face, and what color was the lipstick? Just out of curiosity.
I'm gonna go a hot pink.
Hot pink. So you wipe your hand on your face, and you got this pink, whatever. You're not sure what it is. It smells funny, greasy. Not good at all. But you wipe it off your face. You bring yourself to wake up. You know it's your watch. Arcos heads back to his tent, and it is now your watch for a couple of hours. Couple of 3 hours. Yeah, that Play-Doh kind of smell. Yeah, it's generally what lipstick taste smells like. Exactly.
Cool. I'll just sit by the campfire, stoking it every now and then, do me rounds. As I said, I'm there for the job, nothing more.
Dark Elf with a sub. Thank you very much. So same thing. While you're on your watch, you hear the occasional wolf howl off in the distance. At one point, you think that they sounded a little close. You're not entirely sure. I'll get you to roll a perception check for me anyway. Do you have dark vision?
I certainly do.
Right, so yours will be a normal roll. So anyone that doesn't have dark vision will be at disadvantage. Just so remember that, guys. Don't forget, if you've got inspirations and advantages, use them, because we are getting close to the end of the session.
Me.
13. That's not bad. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. So you listen intently to the sound of the wolves howling. You hear the cracking of branches and that around the camp. You hear the waves off in the distance from the ocean, and even the bubbling water from the little creek that's nearby. You're not entirely sure, but you know something's close. You can feel it. Animal, human, no idea. But there's something close. It doesn't seem to be moving any closer, like you can't hear it moving closer or anything like that, but you just got an uneasy feeling that something's nearby. You're about halfway through your watch. So what do you do?
Write down, well, just practice my incantations, not setting them off, just getting the movements down so I can get quicker and all that.
No worries. Just give me 1 second. Another sub. Era. Dropping a prime sub. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. So yes, so you keep the fire stoked, trying to continue to listen out for those sounds, see if they get any closer. Doesn't appear so. You just again hear that like an owl off in the distance, a bird here and there. Nothing too much. As your watch comes to a close, who are you waking for next? Who was next? I think it was Youngblood next. And Dark Elf with a gifted sub as well.
So I walk over to Youngblood's tent, pull the flap aside, and just put my heel into his feet, just a nudge.
Right, so you just sort of nudge him awake.
Yeah.
The Youngblood, you're woken up. You get a sort of someone shaking your feet, stirs you, rouses you from sleep. A little blurry-eyed, but you recognise the blue face, even though a relatively new face in your life. You do recognise the blue face as your eyes sort of come to focus.
Let off a fart, because I wake up every time I wake up. Let off a fart. Hey, buddy. Sorry about that. It's just a habit.
And I turn around and go to my tent.
Kind of makes your
Wake
eyes
up.
water, tall fellow. It's rank. The beans, definitely.
Get up.
So it is now your watch. I thought about it, Mina. I thought about it. It is now your watch. The fire's still going. You know you've got to keep it stoked. You're not unfamiliar to keeping watch. In your particular lifestyle, the things that you've been up to in your life leading up to this point, you've had to hide from people in the past. You know all too well about keeping watch and what it's all about. So you stoked the fire. Was there anything in particular you wish to do while you're on watch?
Not really. I'll just be probably training, like fighting in the air, like just throwing punches and that kind of stuff, kind of training and stoking the fire. Just
keeping yourself awake and keeping yourself occupied.
Always
Reptile
training.
with a sub, 8 months. So with that, I'll get you to roll a perception check. Do you have dark vision? I believe you do, if my memory serves.
I don't know where to check.
I will have a look for you. No, you do not. So yours will be at disadvantage.
I'll have to roll again, sir.
So this is perception. So when you click on it, you'll just choose disadvantage.
I think that's the wrong one.
Still pretty good roll, even with disadvantage. Natural 20 and a 16. Darth, Trashman with a sub as well. All the subs coming out tonight. You guys are awesome. So we get a pretty decent roll. So even with disadvantage, without dark vision, you can see out to the edge of the firelight. But your hearing is keen. And again, you hear those same growls and scratchings of animals nearby. But nothing overly threatening at this point. Your watch, the remainder of your watch goes relatively without incident. And now you can probably see that the night is starting to give way to early morning. You can see that the moon has moved through the night sky and is moving across, and you know it's soon going to be disappearing. And you will know you need to wake for his watch very shortly. Mina with a sub as well. We get 78% of level 2 hype train. Let's go.
Let's go.
So yes, so your watch goes without incident, Youngblood. So you are able to wake Who for his. How do you wake him?
So is who in a tent, or is he up in
You're
a tree?
you're in yeah. Well, it's up to who.
I'm in a tent.
He's in a tent or in a tree.
At the moment. At the moment, I'm in a tent at the moment.
No worries.
That
So
may
you,
change in the future.
he's in a tent.
Go up to a tent, unzip it, just give him Nice little nudge. It was very nice.
No zips, it's just flaps.
Well, flaps, there you go.
Yeah, you can open his flaps for him.
No, just give him a nice nudge. Try to do it as nice as possible. Hey, who? It's your watch.
Oh, we're about out of sleep and ruffle my feathers up and sit up and say, yep, how things going, mate?
Yeah, good. Heard a little bit of stuff in the distance, but nothing too threatening. A little bit of animals and stuff, but nothing too threatening. I think we're safe.
So I was scoping out. I was scoping out earlier like a decent tree to scoot up into. So I'll come
there's
out,
a few
check the
decent
fire
trees.
first,
Yeah.
check the fire first, and position myself, on a decent branch up in one of those trees.
No worries. You have the flight speed to do that. Indeed, you also have the dark vision out to 120 feet.
Yep.
We've hit our 500 biddies from Dark Elf as well. We've got our hype chain level 2. Look at that. So yeah, up in a tree, you position yourself to get the best possible view of the camp and as wide an area as around. So you find a tree that's not like hugely densely foliaged, like it's got a minimal amount of foliage on it, but enough that you are relatively hidden, but you can see out of it as well. So I'll get you to roll a perception check, please.
And because it's getting close to the end of this evening, I will probably use what was given to me earlier.
Okay, so I think yours was a D10 as well. So what you do is you just roll your perception.
Yep.
And then you'll go to the bottom of the thing there and find the D10 and just click it once and click roll, and that will add that to it. It was a 1, so you get a 16.
A 16.
The 16's pretty good.
From what Holly gave me.
So you are sitting up in your tree and you're gazing around. Again, you can hear the sounds of the camp. The fire's fairly well stoked. The sun starts to peak over the distant hills, so the sky turns from the dark into, again, in the opposite, purples and reds and oranges. There's a bit of cloud cover as well, until eventually the sun breaks the hill line, the mountain range, and the day starts to lighten. You spy a pack of wolves, maybe 60 feet from the camp. They don't see you. They seem to be circling a little bit back, like sort of down southwards towards the camp, but then as you're watching them, they move northward and head north back up towards the road, and you, from your position, you can see them cross the road and disappear into the long grass before obviously probably heading into the forested area to the northeast. Appears you had a pack of wolves camping, not so much camping, but sleeping not too far from where you guys had camped. Fortunately, they weren't disturbed. They didn't really seem to worry about you guys too much. But yes, the wolves are coughing and sneezing in the background. That might be Youngblood and Tallfellow coughing and sneezing and farting in their tents. But yeah, so the remainder of your watch, however, goes without incident. The fire eventually dies down. I'd assume that you would probably let it die down due to the fact that it is now morning time. You probably put a pot of coffee on, get some stuff organized for a breakfast, and eventually you wake the rest of your companions. How do you do so? As you descend from your tree, firstly, obviously. How do you rouse the camp? Do you do it noisily, individually?
Individually. Go into each tent, give them
a nudge.
Give them a kick. Yeah.
And you
Just
do so.
A gentle kick.
Yeah, gentle kick. You rouse everybody. Arcos, Tallfellow, and Youngblood, you're all roused by who, as the dawn has broken. It's a little bit cooler this morning. It is springtime still, so it's still relatively warm, but the morning is cooler than the evening. There's a bit of dew lying around on the ground, but the fire is still, there's still enough of embers there to brew a pot of coffee and things like that. So it is now this new day. The day is yours. Anything in particular you wish to do before or while you break camp, before you proceed to set off towards?
While we're eating, I'll let
retrieval?
the others in. I'll let the others in the group know that I noticed the pack of wolves
Okay.
away from the camp and ended up going. Did you say northeast?
Northeast, yes.
Northeast from where we are. But yeah, that's all that happened last night.
Yeah,
So-
I thought I heard a bear. Might have been a bear. And I didn't feed the blue fella to it. So that's friendship. That's teamwork. Yeah? He doesn't get it.
Good one, Bugs. Good one. I like your teamwork.
I mean, I thought about it for a hot minute. Just
Can we
I'll
get
go
going
up.
now?
Go up to the tall fella. Look, me and Bugs had a chat, and he told me maybe you wouldn't like the sexy boy thing, so I'm going to drop it. Just call you Blue Man. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings or made you uncomfortable.
Raises an eyebrow, looks at him, goes, not worth my time.
I just walk off.
Damn.
he's not a morning person or an afternoon person or an evening. Anyway, we pack all this up and we'll get going, get this job done, so maybe he'll be happy for a hot second.
And you do so. You take probably 45 minutes or so to break the camp down, extinguish the fire, pack up the gear that you have utilized off the cart. You replace it back on the cart. You rehitch the ox, who seems to have fared really well. There's no, like, obviously the wolves didn't bother the oxen during the night either. And you set out back on the road, heading back up onto the main road. You know, you've got maybe you probably got a few hours worth of travel before you hit the Treebor Trail, heading eastward towards Phandalin. And that's where we'll end tonight's sessions, guys. I think we ended there. We're about 10:30, so I think we'll call it there. I'm going to call it a little early, purely because of what I know. Most of us know what's coming for this particular module, but we know what's coming up. We don't want to get into it so close to the end. So we're going to call our session there. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. I know we sort of said we're going to look at running 3 hours, but we've got a little bit of time. We can have a bit of a chat anyway, get some interesting moments, which there was a lot tonight. Chat, if you guys got some interesting moments, put them in the chat at myself in the chat at Evldoa, so we know exactly what your moment is, because there were a few. Go back to this thing over here. I know Era's got some really cool, like, spaghetti and meatballs and stuff that he wants to eat, so we're gonna end it there.
Oh yeah, we could have gone main course, but it's better off knowing what's coming. Yeah.
We could have got into possibly got into a battle, and we could have been going for another hour yet. So we'll leave it there.
Yeah, definitely.
So firstly, would like to thank everybody for coming in tonight and hanging out with us on session 1 of Lost Mines of Phandelver. This is my first time running it, and I'm having a lot of fun so far. It's been interesting roleplay, giving Trashy shit as usual. But I think everyone's doing exceptionally well. Before we get into the moments, I'd just like to point out, well, not so much point out, but GG's to both Era and JJ. relatively new players and have both done exceptionally well in their RP tonight. JJ, awesome job. Youngblood is annoying and cocky, just as you said he would be, and I think you're portraying him beautifully. And Who is everything I could hope for so far, so I'm waiting for there's some interesting moments, I think, coming from Who, so I'm looking forward to that as well. We need to mention Dark Elf, Culprit, Mina for the biddies, Grim for the biddies as well. Also need to mention all the subs. We've got Trash, Mina, Neon, Dark Elf, gifting a tier 1 sub and subbing himself, Culprit for the biddies. We got the raid there from Superfish as well. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. Greatly appreciated. Obviously, the financial support is not necessary at all, but is very much appreciated and goes right back into the stream and helps buy D&D stuff so we can do some more D&D. I did see from, I think it was Dark Elf, the email address is in the panels below, evildoergaming@gmail.com. Let me know what you're interested in, and I will shoot you an invoice, and I'll give you the details of the price, but I'll shoot you an invoice. You let me know whether you're happy with that, and we can move on from there. So just to give you guys a bit of context here, all of the map packs that I create on stream are available to buy at a one-off purchase. Curse of Strahd is up there now. Lost Mines of Phandelver maps are available, and the adventure and map and tokens from the Red Jackal that the community created for P2, that is also available to purchase. The prices are up on the Gilded, so if you want to go to the announcements, it is pinned in the Gilded, the prices that I've set there. The prices are in US dollars. I've done that on purpose. If you are subbed to Twitch or Gilded, you'll get a discount. So if you're a Twitch sub or a gold sub on Gilded, you'll get a $10 discount on all map pack, on any map pack that you purchase. If you're a silver sub on Gilded, you'll get $5 off. And if you're subbed, obviously silver and gold, you'll get some maps available for those subs as well. So silver subs get random maps available every month. Gold subs get a gridded WebP version of all maps created. So at the moment, Curse of Strahd's up there, Red Jackal's up there. On the 1st of next month, Lost Mines maps will be available to gold subs on Gilded. So that's where we're at for that. So any inquiries as to map packs, evildoergaming@gmail.com, and send me an email and I'll send you an invoice. Once the invoice clears, you will get a link to a zip file where you'll get all of the formats. You'll get JPEG, you'll get WebP, gridded, non-gridded, you'll get a universal VTT as well. So you'll be able to use them for Roll20 and Foundry. Should be pretty cool. Anyway, I'm going to start with Trash because he was the least interactive. Well, not really. He actually did pretty well, to be fair. And you played your character very well, Trash. But we're going to start with you for any moments that stood out for you. What I am going to do, we're going to change this format slightly too. You're going to pick a moment from your character, moment that stood out for you, about you, and a moment from someone else's character. It could be anyone else's character. But to start off from you.
I got a few. One is the chat where Grim was going to be put on the sofa if he didn't use something.
That's not about, that was chat stuff. That's got nothing to do with the show.
I haven't finished.
He loves real world suffering.
Where I slapped the ox on the ass and made it move and made Grim fall all over. That was awesome.
That was a good moment, indeed.
And the other thing, all the nat ones.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
Yes, it was a lot. I mean, then you got to also on a note of that too. The nat 1 and nat 20 from Grim in the same role. I mean, come on, how often does that happen?
True.
It just never happens. It was just crazy. Mina says, so honestly, I can't do a favorite moment, but more than the amount of times Grim broke JJ just made me laugh. Yes, that conversation was very well done.
That was good.
Indeed. So we'll go over to JJ now. So JJ, a moment from you, a moment about you, what you've done with your character, and a moment from someone else.
Myself, I just love how my new mission is to break Blue Men. I seen it's something I'll do, and it's still a mission. I'm gonna fucking do it. I love that about myself. It just came out of nowhere, and I'm just rolling with it, and I love that part of myself.
It works, man. It works.
Somebody else, so many.
There is. There was a lot tonight.
Bugs / Grim just stealing that money. I thought it was amazing. You thought,
that was
fuck it,
well
you
done.
want to talk about
good
me, I'm going to steal your money. And he got both of it, got fucking boatload of cash.
I didn't think you were going to push the second one. I thought you were going to go, no, let's do the first, we'll go away. I thought, yeah, no, well done.
Well, that was really cool.
Awesome.
Error code.
One from here as well, yeah. Go for it.
I can't think what he did. A couple of one-liners. Can't remember what they are. Those one-liners.
There was a few.
I can't think of them right now. Handy one. I thought it was really hilarious. I had to go off that one.
Yes.
The handy one.
There was
a few others.
There was a lot of innuendo.
I was having a lot of fun.
Tonight.
Sorry about the cracking up laughing all the time.
No, it's good.
Having too much fun.
Hey, it happens, dude. Like breaking a character, breaking someone out of character is generally sometimes a small goal of mine.
Breaking myself out of character by accident. The things that pop in my head, so I've got to say it.
I think it's a goal for anybody to break.
I think it is, definitely, 100%.
But I have a lot of fun.
And that's the key. As long as you're having fun, that's the main thing. So, with that, we're going to jump to the bottom and jump down to Era. Mr. Era, a moment from your character that stood out for you, and a moment from someone else.
When I bang back with light on.
Definitely.
I
forgot you had the light cantrip as well. It was well done.
And said, "See, I can do it too." And just Grim, Grim, and his attitude with Blue Boy, like just all the little jabs, you know what I mean? Just all of them. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Awesome. And lastly, but not leastly, we'll have Mr. Grim, Mr. Arcos. Puck.
Right, so I got a quick moment from everyone. Who cracking up, laughing, falling on the floor at my my situation? Youngblood's earnestness, like he's just so earnest to get everyone on the same page, and you're like, oh, you like books? Like, what's your favorite book? And I'm like, I could see Era sitting there like, oh god, I don't know what to say about that. But
it was, yeah, honestly, it was kind of.
I did send you a book title in the chat to Era. I private messaged you one in Gilded, and the book title was Bugbear, Bugbear, What Do You See? I've got a roll table for it, so if any of the stuff that comes up, let me know, because I can chuck something up in chat, because I've got a roll table for it. So
yeah, because it's hard sometimes. You get asked a question like, oh shit. And
I could see him scrambling as well, so it was kind of weird.
And the thing about
save me there.
The thing about Trashy's character is he makes my character so easy to play. So I appreciate that he's being like, he's not even being antagonistic. He just doesn't want to. Yeah. He just doesn't want to be part of the group. And I think for my character in particular, it makes it easy to sort of take those jabs at him.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. I suppose the moment for me was the bit with the, you know, oh, if I give you some money, will it like, you know, will you piss off? And I was thinking at the time of actually giving him like money, because I've got a fair bit, funnily enough.
Yeah.
And then I thought, nah, I'm just gonna flip him the bird. Just sort of in that moment, I'm like, wait, no, this.
Yeah, the 6 gold for a smile was pretty good too, though. and it broke Trashy broke into a smile. It was like, yes, it worked.
So no, really good first session.
No, good, and I'm glad. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm not going to say any moments from me, because I don't need to, because I'm the DM. But moments that stood out for you guys. Again, I said just big GGs to Era and JJ, relatively newish players to D&D. They've only played a few games. I know both Era and JJ have played with Grim in Lost Minds of Phandelver on Discord. So they do know the module somewhat. And JJ's done a mini adventure with me as well, so you guys have seen him there doing some RP as well. Obviously, Trash is an old hand on the channel. He's been around for a while. And Grim's obviously part of P2 and Vampire Masquerade for us also. So, and Grim's, you're relatively new-ish to D&D as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd say probably 2.5 years.
Yeah. So I think everyone's done a pretty good job. You guys all write RP really well, and it makes it easy when we all sort of know each other, and you kind of know how far you can push things as far as the innuendo and stuff's concerned, where it's not going to offend anybody. So I think we're pretty lucky in that respect as well, because the innuendo is just going to happen. It happens in general conversation with this group of people, so it's bound to happen in RP 100%, and in the chat, of course, because you guys are just as bad. But well done, Elber and Dario. Exactly, we got some old hands here. Dario, it's a Dario. It's me, a Dario.
It's me, Dario.
But yeah, so again, guys, every Wednesday night we will see these awesome people on my channel for Lost Minds of Phandelver. We'll be back again next week with session 2. As I said, keep an eye out in the Gilded tomorrow if I'm going to be doing a map session tomorrow night. I may not. I'm just taking a little bit of me time outside of the D&D at the moment, so I might not do some maps tomorrow, but if I don't, we'll be back into the Waterdeep Dungeon Heist, Dragon Heist maps starting Monday. Obviously, again, we'll be starting with the Yawning Portal, which is the inn, and then we're moving on to the other ones. We'll get all those done, then we might look at going into Dungeon the Mad Mage after that. You're a bad. Hey, these guys do puns too, Dark Elf. Don't even get me started on that. The puns will happen. The puns will definitely be there. No worries, Jax. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks. Thank you for your help in modding as well, Nutty and Jax. While these guys were playing, appreciate it very much. But yeah, so that's it for tonight, guys. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I know hopefully the players enjoyed the session, even though, again, it was heavy RP. My moniker and philosophy is no rush RP, story first, so I'll promote as much RP as possible. I was hoping we wouldn't really get to that first combat in the first session, and I think if we got much further we probably would have, so I was quite happy to stop it there. Dungeon the Mad Mage, there's some big maps in there, so I'm looking forward to it, but not looking forward to it at the same time. But we'll get through them. We've got Icewind Dale. I've got all of the Icewind Dale maps in Dungeon Draft already with a different set of assets. I'm going to redo them with my own. That'll happen eventually. But we should raid, because that's what we do here. And before everyone buggers off, who should we raid is the issue. Let's see who's online. I don't think we have many people online on a Wednesday night. My streaming computer's a little slow. A lot slow. Okay, we're going to close that down. We're going to do it over here, so you guys are going to see this. Just bear with me. We're going to open this up. We're going to get some screenception.
Same thing, Nutty. You're reading my mind.
Armin's on. We've got Star Mystique. She's doing some dinkum. How we'll check Armin. He's been going for 3 hours. He's probably getting ready to finish up. He's painting. But I think we might go with Star Mystique. One of the E-Geekly crew. She is funny as hell. So if you're not following Star Mystique, make sure you go check her out. She is hilarious. I always get a giggle when I'm over there hanging out with them. And I'll make sure I spell this correctly. Star Mist. Oh my god. M-I-S-I-Q-U-E. Mystique, I think that's it. Hopefully she normally streams for a while, so hopefully she's still going. We're going to say goodnight, guys. We're going to raid Star Mystique. Make sure you go do that. Hang out. Hit the follow button over there. Let them know where you come from. If you're subbed, use the raid emote. If you're not subbed, whatever emote you got. Otherwise, we will see you guys possibly tomorrow. If not tomorrow, we'll see you on Sunday for Vampire Masquerade, where Grim and Trash and myself will be over there with Mr. Baz, the storyteller. And then we'll be back here next week for some more map and D&D stuff. So see you then. Bye.